Hello everybody, this is Waldorf,
And this is Tetler.
and today we've got Battle Report 96.
096.
Orcs and Goblins versus the soft and squishy Ogre Cons.
Yeah. At Huzzah Hobbies.
This game's going to be a little bit different. This is a practice game for the upcoming tournament, the Grail Quest, which is going to be down in Durham, North Carolina, December 2nd and 3rd.
So everyone's going to have Rock-a-Rocks.
So it's a
Isn't it called Rock-a-Rock Quest?
It's Rock-a-Rock Quest.
Yeah.
It's a 4,500 point tournament that you can take an additional monster from someone else's army book. You can't, like Orcs and Goblins, I have spiders already, so I cannot take a Gargantula as my monster. But I can take a monster from any other army book.
Say like a Rock-a-Rock?
It's like a Rock-a-Rock. Up to 500 points. And if you can fit 2 in for that, you can do 2.
Oh, okay.
Only one of them can be a flyer, though. So there's a couple little weird restrictions on that. Makes for kind of an interesting game. It's different. We'll put it that way. So, based on that, I decided to go kind of a monster mash type thing. So here's my list. I have a Goblin war boss on a wolf. There's the big monster. Goblin war boss on a wolf with shield, crown of the Cavern King, crown of autocracy, talisman of greater shielding. So he's a leadership 9 goblin with a 18-inch bubble. Same guy I've been using basically.
Wearing 2 crowns.
Wearing 2 crowns. This time he's on a wolf though. This time he recruited a feral orc buddy to come with him. This is the typical guy you see in a lot of lists. The wyvern with the feral orc on a wyvern with plates of tuck tag, axe of the apocalypse, shield, and the potion of swiftness. Next one I have is a common goblin chief. He's the BSB. He's on a wolf. He's got the armor of fortune for 5 up armor, 5 up ward, banner of discipline, and a shield. Cave goblin chief on a cave gnasher, shield, lance, pan of protection, pension, and the dragon scale helm. And a common goblin witch doctor. Also on a wolf. Ring of Fire, Book of Power, Book of Arcane Power, 4 spells of Pyromancy, and he's a Wizard Master.
Okay. So
all mounted.
Very wolfy.
Very wolfy, and they're all mounted.
Yeah.
So I needed a place to hide those 3 characters, so we brought a unit of 12 Common Goblin Raiders with full command, light lances, and bows, and because there's 8 of them or more, they become core. 14 common orc boarboy riders. Full command, they have a war standard, they have the heavy lance and shields.
You can hide in there if you need to.
It's a nice block of they can hide in there, but it's a nice block of guys that can, they're not scary. They are strength 6 on the charge.
Yeah, they're cavalry.
It's just filling core.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd fill core with mobile stuff. And then 2 units of feral orc boar riders, musicians, light lances, and shields. So there's my core. I think I'm like 30 points over, something like that.
Okay.
2 Nasher wrecking teams, 2 Gargantulas, and a Rock-a-Rock.
Okay.
And my thought is my opponent sees 2 Nasher wrecking teams, 2 Gargantulas, a Rock-a-Rock, and the guy on the wyvern all coming towards him, along with the cave goblin on the Nasher, and it's just too much to shoot. Is what I'm hoping.
That's true. And you got the cavalry to go after war machines.
And the cav can go after war machines or try to do other stuff. Just run around, stay out of the way. The 12 common goblin raiders are fast calves, so should be easy to keep them out of harm's way.
That's just about shooting and keeping your command where you need it.
Correct.
And you got your boar boys that they can get a flank charge and help one of your monsters. They can break steadfast too.
Exactly. So, anyway, that's the thought. So I played Ogre Cons. Nice, fancy font for the Ogre Cons.
This is far too fancy for the. I don't know. This looks like a fail to me.
I kind of made this. This is kind of a list I made after. Mammoth Hunter is generals a Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker.
I'm sorry, who made? You made?
I put this together.
Oh, you did.
This is.
Okay.
From what I saw, I didn't make the list. This is kind of I didn't get my opponent's list, so
Okay,
I
there you go.
created it.
It sounded
from
like you
memory.
made the list. All
I did
right.
not.
Okay. This is just what you remembered based on
Correct.
what
The
you
general,
saw.
the general
Okay.
has a 2-up, 4-up. The Mammoth Hunter guy has a did have the what is that? It's Buffer's Helm. BSB Con with a great weapon. Shaman with a great weapon. Shamanism. Anyway, big unit of 10 tribesmen. Not that big, but 10 tribesmen. Full command with Iron Fist. Units of 3 is with paired weapons as their little, filling out the core and his little redirectors.
Right.
3 Tusker Cav with Iron Fist. 2 Saber-Toothed Tigers. A unit of 2 Yeti.
Oh, Yeti. You never see those anymore.
No. Scrap Launcher and the Frost Mammoth. And then as his monsters, when I said only one could be flying, only one monster can be flying. So he's got 6 Gargoyles and a Fire Phoenix. The Gargoyles aren't necessarily a monster. They're just whatever. Anyway, it's weird rules. Don't ask.
I don't understand.
I don't either. Anyway,
You can take gargoyles. They're not monsters.
they're not monsters because they're not big. They're little guys.
Right. They're infantry flyers.
They're flying infantry.
Mhm.
Only one of the, but they're on the list of things you can take.
Oh, there's an actual list that says
There's a
what you
list
can,
of what
pull
you can
from.
take. Yes,
Okay. Okay.
and they're on the list, but they're not actually monsters, so
Yeah, and they're
they
cheap.
don't count against the flyer.
Yeah, that's a very nice thing to take. They're cheap.
So they're cheap, and he liked them because they had the
They're cheap and they fly.
basically have hatred with the whatever that rule is for
Mhm.
the beastmen, that the beast herds that get to
So you can take 2 units.
2 units.
Okay.
If but of course they've got to fit in the 500 point,
Right.
whatever, 550, I believe.
Okay,
it
but you
is.
could take so that way you can't take 500 points with the gargoyles.
Correct.
Okay. Or 500 points with the eagles.
And they have to be legitimate size
Yeah, okay.
that they can take.
Okay.
Although I think you can take eagles up to 10?
I mean individual.
No, I mean there is one, but there is a unit.
You can take a unit of eagles. Why you'd ever do that, no one would ever know.
just
but
because it would be
because you could.
fantastic. Because you can.
Just to prove that you have lots of money.
Correct.
You have to show up with all those eagles.
All right, and then again, it's a wacky tournament. So
Wacky?
wacky,
Jerry Lewis wacky? Oh.
as in Fast and the Furious wacky. He's basing the scenarios based on the movie Fast and the Furious.
I want to be Vin Diesel.
You you can be.
I'll have to be shorter, but
So this
he seems to be the best in that series.
yeah, this scenario is based on the movie when they were towing a safe between 2 cars or something.
Oh, yes.
So I saw that on the commercial. But anyway, basically you choose 2 units in your army. You have to stay within the 8 inches of each other at all times because you've got a safe that you're towing behind you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not within 8 inches of the other one, you immediately lose it. You can get no victory points bonus.
What are you towing it with?
2 units.
They got to pull.
They're just pulling it.
Did they get chains like Game of Thrones? Just
Like Game
magically
of
they
Thrones,
found some
magically
chains.
appearing chains. Yes.
Okay. They have to model the chains.
I don't think. Yes. No. You do not. But it does give you an extra D6 strength 6 impact hits when you charge an enemy unit.
Mm-hmm.
Or if somebody charges you in the flank, you get D6 at strength 6 impact to them.
Okay. Also depends what kind of safe it is.
And then, what do you mean? What kind of safe?
The manufacturer, if it's not
Is
a
that
quality,
important?
yeah, it's not a quality manufactured item, it might fall apart on you.
Okay.
Or what's in the safe.
Rocks. I guess that's army dependent.
Yeah. Why would you steal rocks?
Both safe hauling units and then they allow these to charge a piece of terrain, and you can destroy a piece of terrain, and you get a bonus 200 points or something for destroying a piece of terrain.
Piece of terrain? Any piece of terrain.
Any piece of terrain.
Okay. So why wouldn't you do that?
I'm just weird.
On turn 1.
So I'm assuming this is all
Walls in my way.
this is all the rules I've seen for it. So
Okay.
I'm assuming this applies to even fields
How about a hill? I can take out a hill.
and on hills. But anyway, if you end with this within 1 inch of the enemy's deployment zone, at the end of the game, you score an additional 600 points.
Mm-hmm.
This has me curious. There's a wording on this. You have both safe
points.
within 1 inches of the enemy deployment zone. So if you're completely in the deployment zone, do you not get the bonus? Anyway, just written kind of weird. So
Wow.
just these are the kind of scenarios we're looking at in this tournament.
So if you're playing your Equitane, you just have a wedge and you use 2 lances, low points, and you keep running them around and keep them alive and guarantee 600 victory points.
If you can get them into the opponent deployment zone.
Yeah, well, they're fast enough.
Yeah, which kind of, but you're dedicating 2 units to do that,
Yeah.
and you are,
2 small units.
well, you can't go, if it's 2 small units, then you can't go your full 16, because if one moves 16, you moved out 8 inches of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So you're limited to your movement to about a foot, I guess,
Yeah.
if you're small units. Anyway, these are the wacky scenarios they have going on for this thing, and it's got, quite frankly, it's turned quite a bit of players off as far as going to this tournament. So
This seems a bit,
it's very convoluted.
a bit of a stretch.
So anyway, so here we have the table. This one's a diagonal deployment as well. So you can see, starting on the left, we've got a building, a hill in the top left, field underneath it. I think that's a forest in the top center. Yeah, he's moved that's a hill in the top center. Forest in the top left.
Yeah, it's like a
hill in
forest
the top
hill.
center.
Okay.
Over on the right, there's a big ruin up near the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then further down on the right, there's a forest and then a hill in the middle of my deployment zone.
Okay.
So his army, he's got on the left-hand side, he's got he's got his little ogre tribesman unit, 3 tuskers. This is his flame phoenix,
Okay.
the dragon-looking critter.
I'm not sure what model that is.
I think it's I think it might be one of the D&D wings of
Oh, okay.
dragon wing thing, maybe.
Okay.
Off to the right, there's the scrap launcher and his general on a tusker.
It's the first scrap launcher I've seen. It doesn't have a big cannon barrel poking out the front.
A saber-tooth tiger up front, and another unit, a small unit of tribesmen. There's his big unit of 10 tribesmen in the center with 2 characters, and the 2 characters standing out front of it. All right, at the moment. Another saber-tusk, tusker on the hill. That's his
Hunter.
Another one of his mammoth hunters. He's just a guy with the buffer's helm. Off to the right is the frost mammoth and the unit of gargoyles and 2 yetis.
Okay, and so the characters are actually in the unit.
The characters are being put in the unit.
You just
correct?
took the picture before that happened.
Yes, before you got them in there.
Okay.
And starting from my right this time, for some reason, we have the Cave Gnasher on the far right. There's my big unit of 14 boar boys. Gargantula, Wyvern, Fairlork on the Wyvern, and my rock, a rock, is actually a rock. He might look familiar to you.
Whose is it?
He still exists.
Whose is it?
It's alive. You didn't know that. This is
You let him out.
you've been talking about. There's the sign of life. I promised you.
Proof of life.
Proof of life. There you go. Back behind them is a unit of the Goblin Raiders, with all 3 characters currently in there at the moment. All 3 of the Wolf Rider characters. A pair of Boar Riders who are towing a safe behind them. That's that marker. As you can see, they're placed conveniently behind the hill because they're going to destroy the hill on the first turn.
Yeah.
Spider, and then 2 of the Gnasher wrecking teams on the far left.
Oh, you put them on the flank.
The Gnasher wrecking teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one of his saber tusks. Saber-toothed tigers is stuck right here in the center.
I see.
And the other one is kind of off to this side, but not heavily. So I thought this gave me the best chance of getting him forward.
Right.
After we deployed back and forth, I think 2 or 3 times, he dropped his whole army.
Okay.
So I could see where they were and work around them.
You've got a lot of basing work to do in 30 days.
I do. I've got to get started. It's actually a lot less than 30 days. So there it is, another picture of my unit. And there's the guys towing the safe. And his units, he assigned the tribesman and the frost mammoth were the two he assigned to tow his. They don't have to be beside each other, they just have to be within 8 inches at all times.
Okay.
So, anyway. Vanguard. Oh, never mind. That should have been deleted. Go back. Turn 1. So, there's his Vanguard. And his BSB is still standing out front because he's top heavy. And every time he put him in the unit, he fell over.
Because of the hill.
So, what's that?
Because of the hill.
Because of the hill. Yeah. So anyway, the Yeti's vanguarded up to there. And he started his first move. He's coming forward a little bit on the left. Saber-toothed tiger just kind of hangs out in the field. The Yetis come far forward and sit in front of the rock. And the saber-toothed tiger, keep calling it saber-toothed tiger comes into the ruin and just kind of chaffs up stuff.
Are you making fun of Asian people by saying rock?
Rock. The rock or rock. So there you have that. And better view of what he's doing to make sure that saber tusk chaffs up my spider over there on the top. Of course, he's not chaffing up the wyvern guy, but there's a big rock. That's a really good model for a rock.
It is.
It fits.
It's a lot of rock.
Magic, he gets off break the spirit on this guy, so he's -1 to hit and dangerous terrain too. Also got to fix his tail. So we go to shooting. Scrap launcher decides to fire. It decides to fire at this unit. It's going to hit them all. 15, but it's only strength 3, and I've got a 4-up save, so hits them all. That's 14 hits, 15 hits. That's what, 7?
Lethal strike, isn't it?
If he rolls 6s,
yeah.
So call it 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
1, maybe 2 of them are lethal.
Mm-hmm.
And then that lets me save the others 50-50. So I'll take 3 or 4 or 5 wounds, right? Nope. 8 wounds.
Okay.
It was pretty ugly. And only 1 of them was lethal. The rest just failed
saves. And you were
saves.
mostly in the woods?
Yes, I was.
Mm.
So.
Okay.
Didn't help me. So there we go.
What is he, that little gap?
Well, the bright news is...
I'm sorry. So there's a little gap between the spider and...
Yes, there was... He could see one guy.
Okay. All right.
Which is all that matters.
Yeah.
But he shined his little laser down through there and he could spot him. The bright news is... The good news of this whole thing is they do have the banner of discipline, so they didn't have to make a panic check.
Okay.
That's special. So we go to my turn. At this point, where did he go? The wyvern declared his initial charge on the Yetis.
Mm-hmm.
And they failed their rerollable 9 and fled.
Okay.
And it let him redirect into the gargoyles.
Okay.
The Rock decided to do the same thing. He charged into the gargoyles.
Okay.
Further up, we have actually based on where those Yetis went, it must have been the other guy. The Rock charged initially and chased them off, and they went all the way back to there.
Okay. Bounced all the units.
What's that?
Bouncing through all those units. Nobody
panicked, but it was bad enough that they fled at rerollable 9.
Yeah.
So, Gargantula goes into the flank of the saber-toothed tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, the orange Gargantula declared a charge on that saber-toothed tiger there in the field.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long charge. I needed an 11 to get there, but the big thing was to force a fear test and hopefully panic it out of there.
Oh, terror? Mm-hmm.
Terror check, and it stuck.
Okay.
So, all 3 of these charges, you can see, made it in. It's going to be bad news for the gargoyles. There we go. And The boar riders charged and destroyed the hill.
Okay.
Over here, both of the wrecking teams move forward.
Was your big spider in the front or the flank of those tribesmen there? Or you just didn't want to mess? You were just trying to get behind them?
I couldn't get to the big... I was in the front of the unit of 3.
Okay, that's what
and I couldn't get to the other ones.
Yeah.
So I dropped my magic phase. I dropped the immolation spell there in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of... It's only going to do 3 strength for it. It's nothing for him to be scared of, but just looking to do something for damage, and I was going for the D3. You know, the attribute to hurt something. I was dropping the attribute into the ogres. I think I killed 1. It was either 1 or 2 ogres with all the spells. Up on the top right of the board, you can see coming around the corner were my boar boys and Squig Hopper, Cave Nasher hero.
Wish they wouldn't cap cavalry as much as they do as far as how big it could be.
Numbers, yeah. I would like to have a unit of like 20 or some of
Especially
these
for
boar
the
boys.
cheaper cavalry. You know?
Yes. But coming around the corner like this, I figure it's going to cause him a problem. He's out of everything over there on the right is out of arc. And that gives me a good flank charge on anything they want.
Right.
And my bunker came forward a little bit to make sure everyone's going to stay within BSB and General's range.
Oh, you did the switcheroo with your charge.
Yes, they reversed. They flipped over. Because his BSB's there on the front left corner of that unit looking at it. And I wanted the wyvern to be lined up on that guy. Drop the immolation. Spider, of course, made swift work of the saber-toothed tiger and rolled forward to within an inch. Because I charged forward because I was blocking. I wanted to block this gap here. And the 2 big monstrosities just eliminated the gargoyles with impact hits alone.
Shocking.
Yeah, surprising. And they both overrun and smash into the big unit. The way my guy doesn't fit well, so he's supposed to be squeezed in there.
Just turn him backwards with his broken tail.
I probably should. The problem was he was having tail and wing problems.
Yeah.
The big rock monster off to his right wouldn't allow the wings to fit.
Yeah.
So he was causing me issues. So we move on to turn 2. That's what it looks like. It's the overview. So because of the overrun, and I wasn't paying enough attention because the rock should have been off to the right another inch or 2, and it would have closed that gap. But unfortunately, because of the way I placed it without paying enough attention, I opened the gap just enough for him to slip through these 2 units. So he has declared a charge back here on my bunker.
There you go.
The Frost Mammoth in the back is declared a charge onto the flank of the Rock. There you go. And of course he zipped through there and made it.
You stood.
I did. I was I'm looking at the odds. I've got 4 I've got a champ and 3 other characters in here. So what I'm looking at it on the first turn, and this is a character. So the first turn I'll feed him a champ. Then I can start feeding him characters, and hopefully I was hoping up here on the top to smash this unit and free the wyvern on the first turn. But anyway, it was a little hopeful thinking. Elsewhere, he had this unit of ogres charge right through the immolation into my boar boys. My frenzied feral boar boys.
Okay.
Frost Mammoth hit me in the flank, no question there.
Yeah, if you fled, he may have blocked that charge too.
Yeah, well, he would have redirected. I think he was in the flank as well, but
He would have gone to your other spider.
But he could have gone to the other spider, yeah. Would have been a smart move.
Hey!
His 3 tribesmen walk up and stepped on my wrecking team.
And survived the experience?
And did 8. And it did 8 instead of 9 wounds to
So
him.
there's one guy left.
Leaving one guy with 2 wounds on him.
Oh, look at that place.
Missed it by that much. But anyway, it's It's about average, or maybe better. The saber-toothed tiger from the field walked out and stepped on the other one, killing him. And his big guy came up. What did he come up there for?
To block you?
He's out. He wanted to be out of. He wanted to be within range of everything, and out of arc. You can see where he's out, making sure he's out of arc of the spider, and make sure the boar boys can't get into that big combat up top.
Yeah.
So he came forward there, and that's a 1 on that die because they've destroyed one piece of terrain.
Okay.
So, and he's holding back. He held back with the Tuskers for a turn. I'm not sure why I guess he doesn't want to get involved. They only have strength 5.
He's afraid of that spider?
And he's afraid of the spider, so I don't think he wants to deal with the spider.
Yeah. At least not from the front.
So he's kind of holding back there.
Well, he's not have you charge him. He'd rather charge you.
Right. Elsewhere, you can see the Flame Phoenix jump back onto the hill. The Yetis back in the back rallied.
Okay.
And he gets to break the spirit off on me again.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I've had a terrible magic phase, defensive magic phase. And he also got Awaken the Beast off on his unit to bring up +1 strength.
So he got an arm?
What's that? The arm. It's a strong arm.
He raised an arm?
Yes.
It's like he could move very fast.
No. So he's got a scrap launcher. He decides to fire it again. And kills 3 boar boys.
Okay.
It's more like it.
Mm-hmm. A little harder to kill.
A little harder to kill because he needs 5s. His 3 ogres came in and just whiffed and did 1 wound.
Mm-hmm.
4's to hit, 4's to wound, and I've got 5 up and 6 up save.
Mm-hmm.
So he only got 1 wound through on me, and I, as you can see, did 3, 4, looks like 5 wounds to him.
Oh, wow.
Because he came in with 1 wound.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 5 wounds back. He breaks. We chased him and rolled a 4 for distance.
Yeah.
So only got to there. He ran just, of course, perfect distance to get not through the whole pack.
Yeah. So give him a chance to rally.
Give him a chance to rally. So in the ensuing combat here, his guy on a Tusker eats my champ. The rest of the unit sticks. They're steadfast. He put 2 wounds. Actually, I put one of those wounds myself on the Wyvern, on the charge because of the break the spirit.
Okay.
And then he put 3 wounds on the Rock.
Mm.
He challenged with his shaman.
Okay.
Because his shaman, I'd need a 5 to wound it.
Because of the beast, yeah.
Because of the shamanism
yeah.
Scarification spell, attribute or whatever.
Right.
So I've got this big guy on the Wyvern who all he can do is beat on the shaman needing 5s to wound. Unfortunately, I think I only did 2 wounds to him. So there you have it. I actually still won that combat, despite the numbers you're seeing there.
Right.
Because the Rock, he did a total of 4 wounds to me, and that's it. The frost mammoth is no match for the Rock, but the Rock is just beating on ogres at this point because they're easy to hurt.
Yeah, you have all your impact and everything.
Right. Moving back to my turn, so it's time just to pour in the kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm.
The Gargantula is going into the flank of the mammoth. The boar boys are coming in. Boar boys and the Nasher are coming into his rear.
Okay.
There you go.
That should help.
That should make a difference. Because of the 4-inch overrun, both these units can still see the Mammoth Hunter, the general.
Mm-hmm.
So both declare charges on him. He sticks around. The orange spider on the right, Gargantula, needs 15 to reach the big combat. So he takes that.
Okay, get to be able to use that safe again.
And I get to use the safe again, which is kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, these were both automatics. The big orange spider made it in. And these guys are still in combat. And, of of course, everyone made it into this
Okay,
big mess.
so we got Scrum Fest.
This is just, I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
You've got
different units in this.
You've got 2/3 of both armies tied in 2 fights.
This is all one big fight right here.
Yeah, and then you
Everything
got
you're seeing,
the two
all
cabin,
chained together.
the other thing on the other side. So
Yeah, it's just huge. There you go. There's a better view.
So, but, I mean, there's hardly
1,
anything
2,
left.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's 8 separate units in that big fight.
Yeah.
And then 2 little, satellite fights revolving around it.
Well, that's the time that you actually want the idol to be the idol.
So this time on my magic phase, as I'm casting, I miscast and did 2 wounds to my unit and a wound to
Okay.
the mage. Which is actually not terrible, because now I can feed him the mage and he can only get a total combat res of 4 out of it. That's the bright news.
I see.
So between these 2 units and the safe
I'm sure it was a safe.
and the flaming swords on this unit, that's what I was trying
yes.
to get. They eliminated the general.
Okay.
They both forced to overrun, and I forgot to lift the immolation spell. So the boar boys ran into the immolation
And took a hit.
and took a hit, I believe.
You had 5, right?
Yep. So there we go back to this fight, and he kills my mage. You can see up there on the top.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled an 8 and then a 6, which held.
What's that marker he's got next to his guys?
Flaming.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, stupidity.
Ah.
That's his marker to remind himself that he needs to take a stupidity
Okay.
check every
Okay.
turn. As you'll see on the back of his ogres, they have the flaming banner, and they have a little flame
Yeah.
thing on the back of them. Nice little reminders for himself.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
So this combat goes as I expected it to, and we really thumped him good.
Yeah.
The remaining 4 guys, his BSB, we killed the mammoth between the boars and the Nasher hero. Killed the mammoth. We beat up the unit bad. There's 3 wounds. That 3 wounds is on his mage, who's still alive, fleeing in this unit. Because I only managed to do 1 more wound with the wyvern.
So the big thing is, with all those things pursuing, you couldn't catch him.
And with 3 swift stride units pursuing a non-swift stride unit, I did not catch him. That is
Okay.
correct. I did take another wound with my wyvern rider. He's at 3 now. It's kind of the 3 down the bottom
Back at the
right
bottom,
that
okay.
haven't moved.
From the spell.
From the
Okay.
from the dangerous terrain spell. The rock has taken another wound. He's up to 4. And the spider has taken 6 wounds. He's got 2 left.
6.
So I've got
What
2
beat on him?
The BSB with a great weapon.
Oh, okay.
Strength 7 guy, just chopping him up.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 wounds on the spider, 1 wound on the wyvern, and 2 wounds on the rock.
Okay.
But he's fleeing.
Yeah. Been better if you caught him.
So, and then over here, after this fight over here, on this side, the spider and the cave Nasher hero both turn around to face his
So we need to help these boys out.
guys. Hopefully I can get there before he can get all my characters.
Yeah.
The boar boys turn to face the guys on the hill, the flame phoenix, and the yetis.
Okay. Fire and ice there.
Yes, it's a nice combination. So there we go. And we're going to his turn. And top of the turn, he charges both units into the boar boys. They stand and take it. He charges the scrap launcher, because it is a chariot, into the front of the spider.
Okay.
And he tries a long charge with the Tuskers into my boar boys.
All right.
Of course, the Yetis and the Flame Phoenix make it. The Tuskers roll terrible and do not make it.
Sure,
And
thankful
just do
for
a
it.
little bit more than a wheel. He almost sent this guy down here on the bottom into their flank at the same time.
Can you break multiple pieces of terrain with that thing, or just one?
1 per turn if you charge it.
So you could actually, in theory, get 6 pieces of terrain.
in theory, but the points you can get for that are capped.
Okay.
At only like 400, so I think you can only get 2.
Okay.
You can kill more, but that's all you're getting out of it.
Okay.
Elsewhere, the ogres did rally, so they turned back to face the horde coming in at them. The immolations. Oh, his other ogre out here in the middle of the field rallies as well. And I'm parked on the immolation, so I take another hit. His other ogre, the one with 1 remaining wound, comes up and chaffs up my other frenzied war boys. And then he pushes through a swarm of insects on my wyvern rider and takes him off the board.
Okay.
He rolled 24 hits.
Oh my goodness.
There were strength 1, 24 attacks on that 5d6, and he got 24. It's like, oh, terrible. The chariot came in, and with its strength 5 impact hits, rolled a 5 for number, got 2 of them through, and killed me. So what was looking really good now is starting not to look so good anymore. Over here, he takes out the whole back rank, kills 5 of me. I'm steadfast. I put a wound on each, as you can see. I'm steadfast with a war banner, so I stick around. He wins the combat by far, but I'm steadfast. I'm still within general's range, who's not. This turn, I have to feed him my BSB. He goes down, and we stick around one more turn. There's the chariot. And we're going to the bottom of turn 4, I believe. I think that 3 over there is incorrect.
Okay.
Gargantula and the Hopper both come in here. Cave Gnasher both come into this guy. I should not have brought the spider. Because, I'm going to challenge him with the rider on the flank.
Yeah.
So I don't need the spider, but I think I brought it for make sure I have combat res. He's +3 combat res from where he is, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's why I brought him. Elsewhere, you can see these guys are still fighting. The Rock charged in, and the 3 boar boys came in to help.
These are the savage ones?
These are the savage ones.
The feral ones?
Yeah, the ferals that were the unit of 3 that was stepping on the immolation.
Yeah, okay.
They came in to lend a hand. The other 4, I kind of wanted to back them up. They decided they didn't want to back up. They wanted to go fight this guy.
So you lost your safe?
I did. So my safe's gone because they're more than 8 inches apart now.
So did you lose the points that you...
You do. You have to have the safe at the end to score points.
Okay.
Between these 2 units, they chopped me up pretty bad, killed another 3, and sent me packing. At least on the bright side, he did not catch me. I did put another wound on the Flame Phoenix.
Yeah, if it's fighting you, it's not flying over. You're burning the crap out of your guys.
Yeah, good thing is I don't have the ranks.
Of course, you don't have a lot of
to
ranks,
do it, but
so that helps, but yeah.
It's not that good of a fighter. It's got 4 attacks. I think it's strength 5. So.
It doesn't fight, no. It's for scorching.
Over here, we sent him packing. We did a couple wounds to him, and then with the flank, and then 1 in the flank, 2 in the rear, just sent him breaking, and the unit of wolf riders and Squig Hopper ran him down.
Why did he go that way?
Because he had to flee from the one with the rank, which is the spider.
Oh, yeah.
So he went towards the back edge. The spider made his check and stuck around and reformed.
Okay.
Boar boys killed the ogre out there in the middle of the open field and overran, but not quite enough.
Yeah, something in the flank that I don't think they're going to like.
Which is okay because...
Of course, they're over there not doing anything.
If they go at them, that means they're not moving 14 inches into the center of the board or whatever to hurt me. You can see the Rock turns to face the the ogres on the hill. I'm not worried if either one of these units up top charges me in the flank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stubborn. 9 hit front flank, doesn't matter. So the Rock went in. Between the Rock and the Boars, we killed the BSB and the Mage.
Okay.
But he killed off. He did manage to kill off the Rock.
Okay. And he's got one guy
As
left.
a trade-off, and he's got one guy with 2 wounds left. There you go. And we're going to... No, his BSB is still alive.
Oh.
Now that I'm thinking about it, his BSB is still there. He's just not standing on there because he...
Same problem with the hill.
Same problem with the hill. So his BSB is still alive.
Okay, that's not so good then.
No. Going on his turn, he charges the flank of my Boar Boys. The Yetis charge the Boar Boys that were in the ruin,
Mm-hmm.
and they're forced to flee. He failed his distance, so it didn't run them down.
Mm-hmm.
These guys over here made it. There you go. So they crept forward an inch or two with the Yetis, which will give me a chance to rally, which is good. The Flame Phoenix flew over, did its flyover attack on the Boar Boys, and then landed beside them.
Mm.
That's it up there on the right. Didn't damage them. It was D6 strength 4 hits, I believe. They took it and didn't care. His Ogre, of course, stepped in front of my Spider. Keep him tied up. And the Tuskers quickly eliminated the Boar Boys and turned to face towards the center.
Okay.
His remaining 2 guys, of course, killed
Killed off your last
my Boar
boar
Boys, which are
riders.
strength, second round of combat are down to strength 3.
Right.
So again, it was looking really good there for a minute,
Yeah,
and then it
you had
just
to-
flipped around really quick on me.
Had to catch him, yeah.
Yeah, if I would have caught him, it would have been a different story because all
Mhm.
3 of those units would still be alive.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, the Boar Boys fail to rally and continue running down to here. You can see the Hopper made his march test and is all the way up there at the edge,
Okay.
out of arc of the Yetis.
Right.
And my last remaining Wolf Rider and the General head back here, so they are within 18 of the Spider.
Right.
They're within everything. Got everything in the 18-inch bubble, and they're safe enough distance from the Flame Phoenix on that side and the Tuskers on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
The Gargantula kills the lone Ogre that was out there chaffing him up, and we go to the top of turn 5. So top of turn 5, he's looking around. He does the looks around. So the Flame Phoenix declares a charge first. The one pointing down is his first charge, which pushes my Boar Boys off the board.
Okay. That's about that
It's
much.
a big chunk of skies. And then he makes his redirect into the rear of the Spider.
Ooh.
Because he's got a chariot going into the front and a BSB and a guy coming
Okay.
into the front.
So everyone's going in.
And everybody makes it.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. And yeah, everyone's making it, and the positioning on my Nasher hero is terrible because I can't see him. Because he's shifted down to the left side of me.
Yeah.
I'm in his front and I can't see him.
Right.
So the Yetis circle around, and they're trying to kind of corner my wolf guys.
Right.
And on this side, the Tusker guys come forward a bit. Again, they know I can move 18. He just wants to make sure I can't get around him. He's trying to catch me in a zone there.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that charged in did a total of 5 wounds to me. I don't think I did much of anything on the first turn. I think I might have put a wound or 2 on the BSB. But that's it. because there's no other wounds anywhere else.
Oh, you didn't try to kill the spider? I killed the...
I'm not worried about
Phoenix?
the Flame Phoenix. The BSB is the scariest.
Well,
thing
he's the one going
got.
to kill you, yeah.
So...
I guess you're stubborn. You don't care about combat res.
I don't care about combat res. So the rear doesn't bother me
Right,
at all.
right.
So back to my turn 5. I decide to charge in to help by charging into the Flame Phoenix with the with my bunker.
Yeah. Well, strength 4 attacks are very powerful.
Well, anyway, this is very dumb. Going in with the general is not a terrible idea. He does have a 2-up armor save and a 5-up ward. So that's not a terrible idea. Bringing the other guy with me was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they charge into the flank. There you go. Because, I measured and you can see from the angle that the Yetis can't see him if I'm all the way up against them. The Nasher guy moves further up, so now he can definitely see down the whole row. And the ensuing combat, the Flame Phoenix kills the guy, kills my one last remaining Wolf Rider.
Okay.
For whatever that was, 300 points.
Yep.
Half of the unit. He put a couple more wounds on my spider. It's up to 6 now. But the spider divided its attacks between the BSB and the last remaining Wolf Rider, and the last remaining tribesman, and killed them both.
Okay.
So
then you reformed this
and then I
weird
reformed
corner thing?
Corner to corner to get as far away from the Tuskers as I could. And the same thing with the general move farther down to the right. He took a wound. Actually, he took that from the field because I didn't attack it at all. The scrap launcher broke from combat and fled out into the field.
Okay, so he survived.
So he did survive, but he's just floating there in the field. So we go to his turn 6. The Yetis just kind of backed up just to stay out of the 6-inch terror bubble. I mean, the panic bubble.
Right.
For when this Flame Phoenix dies. And we do kill it. Squish. Where's the general? Hasn't turned around yet. Okay. So the general and the spider turn around to face the Yetis. Because he rallied his scrap launcher. So I've got the Cave Nasher hero lined up to go after the scrap launcher, and I figure the spider can go after the Yetis.
Okay.
So the spider goes after the Yetis. They fail their terror and flee. So the general charges them as well and pushes them off the board.
Don't Yetis cause fear? No.
It doesn't help you from the terror. And the Nasher hero goes into the scrap launcher.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure of this one, but because he's got a lot of little attacks, but
yeah,
I've got a 3-up armor, tough 4.
Yeah, he's got the
Rhinox.
The Rhinox, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, he's got like 3 attacks from that, and he's got like
Saber-cat
7
or whatever.
scraplings on it. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're only strength 3, but anyway, when it comes down to it, we kill it.
Yeah.
With the strength 6 impact and then 6 strength 6 attacks.
Right.
We just kill it outright. He doesn't wound me. And that's how it ends. It's a complete bloodbath.
Yeah.
The Ogre's got 4,200 in my BSB, so make it 4,408. The Orcs got 4,397 plus the General and BSB for a 389 point victory, which was 11-9 for the Orcs.
You could have only had it safe. You'd had 800 more points.
If I had the safe alive, but that would require those 2 units to be alive, and that's a lot more points.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it was a fun game. I mean, the fact that every unit on 3 separate turns, every one of my units was engaged in combat.
Yeah.
Which I was very proud of.
Nothing like a game of maneuver.
We maneuvered a lot. We maneuvered into the center of the board and smashed each other.
Yeah.
Again, I after the end of turn, I think it was the end of turn 2, I thought it was a complete blowout when his tribesmen were running, and I was chasing him with 3 units.
Didn't.
Of course, 3 units with a combined 5 wounds.
Yeah.
But then he got angry and killed all everybody that was chasing him. But no, it was a fun game, and it's a practice game for this tournament. And it kind of makes me see how the tournament's going. It's not going to be a serious tournament. It's going to be a bunch of fun games, I think. So, anyway.
Oh, you can always find people that take this tournament too serious.
Yeah, there will be, but for the most part, I think it'll be just how they're having fun with these weird units and weird armies.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. So that's going to do it. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.